Are any of you familiar with Chinese? Nobody, right? Well, my aunt knows Chinese, and that's just one of the many uniquely awesome things that I love about her. Today I'm going to be talking about my Aunt Lindsay and all of her amazing qualities. She is my role model, my inspiration, and one of my biggest supporters. Her drive is one that many people wish that they could mimic. Her compassion toward others is never ending. Her intelligence is one of the things that makes her so reliable. Her morals are what show how caring of a person she really is. From a very young age, I've always been able to look up to my Aunt Lindsay in more ways than one. My aunt has a drive that not many people can say that they have, and I like to believe that I gained that trait from her. Like me, she strives to be the best at everything that she does. She has the kind of can-do attitude that makes a person unstoppable. One of my favorite quotes is, "The only limitations that a person has are the ones that they set on themselves." And my aunt lives up to that quote every single day of her life. She does everything and anything that she can because she wants to and doesn't care what anybody says. If she wants to take a drawing class where they draw naked people, she's going to do that regardless of how weird and I think it is. She doesn't allow societal pressures and standards to influence her decisions. She just strives to be the very best that she can be, and that's a very admirable trait. As driven as she is somebody who puts everybody else's needs before her own. My Aunt Lindsay has tremendous compassion toward others. She is always willing to talk to me and work through my problems, regardless of how far away she is. When she's home in Michigan from DC, we will always sit on my deck and talk about life. She's part of the reason that I figured out what I want to do when I grow up. During one of our talks, she asked me what truly made me happy, and I told her that working with kids really makes my heart feel full. She mentioned teaching, and as much as I'd love to teach, you don't really make a lot of money being a teacher, so I compromised and thought that I'd be a pediatric dentist. I just thought it was so awesome how she knew exactly how to pick my brain. Lucky for my brother, sister, and I, she doesn't have any kids, so we get all of her love and affection. When each of us was born, she came to live with us in Michigan to help out my mom. She also did the same thing when my dad had his accident. When I was in 3rd grade, my dad was hit with a 4,000 pounds of metal pipe, and he almost died. And while my mom was in the hospital helping him, my Aunt Lindsay came home to make sure that me, my brother, and my sister would have a normal life while all of that was going on. On top of being so compassionate, my aunt is also extremely smart. Because she's so driven, she's very intelligent and has had to work hard to get to where she is. After graduating from Kalamazoo College, she went to George Washington University in Washington, D.C., and that's a very good school. After graduating, she went on to work in the Department of Defense in the Navy, and nobody in our family really knows what she does because she's not allowed to tell us, so it kind of just adds some mystery to her. The only thing that we do know that she does is that she translates things that come in from China because, like I mentioned earlier, she knows Chinese. I like to pride myself on knowing a lot of Spanish, but Chinese is a whole different ballgame. Spanish is kind of like English, so some of the words are similar, but Chinese is completely different. So I really look up to her in that way, that she's able to read, understand, and write in that language. I believe that because she's so smart, she holds a high importance in her morals and values. I like to believe that my aunt and I have a lot of similar opinions on a lot of different ideas. I look up to her in that way because she cares about all kinds of people. She believes in equal rights for everybody. She believes that no matter your skin color, your gender, your sexuality, you're still a person and should be treated as such, and I very much agree with her. She also eats a mostly vegan diet, and when I say mostly vegan, she'll cook for herself vegan at home, but when she comes home and my grandma makes bacon with Sunday breakfast, she's definitely going to have a piece of bacon. I think that's really cool, so I eat mostly vegetarian now because it's very good for the environment and it's not too hard. To my aunt, family is the most important thing. We don't get to see her very often because of her job, but whenever she has time off, she's in Michigan. These are just a few of the great things that my aunt believes in, but they are some of the more important ones that really show how caring of a person she really is. My Aunt Lindsay has and always will be somebody who I look up to immensely. Her driven personality is one that I aspire to recreate. Her compassionate demeanor makes me feel like she's always with me, even when she's 300 miles away. Her intelligence is vast and one of my biggest inspirations to do well in school. And finally, her morals and outlook on the world are ideal and ones that I aspire to continue on as I grow into a young woman. I don't get to see her very often, but when I do, it's like picking up where we left off last. My Aunt Lindsay is my best friend and mentor, and I wouldn't trade her for the world.